Welcome. This is Judith Conrad with Mount Shasta Magic. And of course, we're broadcasting this program from College of the Siskiyous. We have a great affiliation with College of the Siskiyous. And my program is focusing on community activities, things that are going on in the community that would relate to you. Before we bring our guests in, and of course we always have a cat or a dog from the Humane Society, we're going to be bringing in Snips, and today we're going to be focusing on Save the Rain, how one village, and I'm talking about you, Mount Shasta area, how you made a difference to many people in Africa. And before I do that, I want to start out with just a little bit of to talk about some of the things that are going around on the internet. And one of the things that I have been hearing so much about is the DVD called The Secret. And on Oprah, on Thursday, well, of course, by the time you hear this program, you will probably already have seen the interview with Jack Canfield with some of the people who are participating in The Secret. And what this is about how you can be successful effortlessly. It doesn't always have to be the 9 to 5 of working. It can be created having your ideal life, your car, the car of your dreams, having so many clients you don't know what to do with them. And that's one of the things I'd just like to run through, a couple of the techniques that Jack Canfield has been sending around on the emails. The first thing, when you get up in the morning, is to set your intentions of what you would like to create, and to visualize yourself actually having your ideal weight. Let's say actually having the car of your dreams. So if you want a Ferrari, put that out. I want a Ferrari. If you want a Volkswagen, put it out. I want a Volkswagen. But just pretend that you're actually driving that vehicle. And then if you have any programs that say, oh yeah, but you don't have the money for that. You can't. You could never, ever have that. So I want you to just think about that. When you wake up in the morning, set your intention, visualize, and then release any of your negative mind chatter. The second thing is to use any kind of external images to keep yourself focused on it. In other words, have a vision board, have a picture of that vehicle, have a picture of a very slim woman who is approximately the weight that you want to go for. Or if you want to go on a cruise, get the picture of the cruise. The third thing is to feel as if you already had it. I've already got the car in the garage. Sometimes when people come to me and I'm coaching them, and they say, I would love to have this relationship. So what I tell them is to go get a car, a little baby car, and put it in your garage. That's your new partner's vehicle. Get a toothbrush, put it in the bathroom, and actually pretend that the relationship is already here. The fourth thing is to be in an attitude of gratitude. I am so happy that I have, and then put the amount of money that you're bringing in every month. See, when you're so grateful for, even if you don't have it, it's like you're tricking your mind. The fifth thing is to take action. If you want a new car, why don't you put 1% of whatever you're bringing in, or 10%, or 20%, put it in a car account. Or if you want to be a doctor, why don't you fill out an application to go to a medical school? Is that not action towards? One of my friends said, stop talking about your laptop and please call and get that laptop. So if I don't call to order a laptop, will I ever get it? No. By the way, it's coming next week because I did it. I took action. And then the sixth thing is to acknowledge it is working. As soon as you say, it's not working, guess what? It's not working. If you keep saying, it's working, you have to trick your mind because your mind always wants to say it isn't working. So the old way of creating things, I'm going to save and save and save and save and save and save, and then I'm going to buy my laptop. Well, you're tricking your mind to have, you could get something for free by just keep acknowledging that it's coming. I'm hearing more people that they're talking about, oh, it's coming and it's here, because they've tricked their mind and all of a sudden somebody else out there gave them a car, gave them something. So you just fill in the blanks. Well, that's my little story for the day. Okay, I just also want to acknowledge a friend of mine, Gentle Thunder, is going to be at the Grammys. So I'm just putting it out that she's been nominated to win. You know, she's up for the possibility of winning that Grammy. It's important that actually she is nominated with all of the people that she made the CD with. So here's hoping that it happens. And she said, well, if she wins, she's coming on our program. So I'm just looking forward to that. All right, with that, I'd like to bring in Kim Lados of Siskiyou Humane Society, and we're going to talk about her kitty cat and all of the cats that are being born. We have so many. Well, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Judith. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's a new year.
It's a new year.
New things going on.
Oh, so many new things.
This is Sooty.
What is the name?
Sooty, like a soot from the chimney.
Okay, Sooty, okay.
One of the shelter employees probably did that with the blackness, but this kitty is not your typical average cat. Sooty loves to be cuddled and loves to play and loves to ride around the shoulders.
Really?
Yes. And Sooty needs a home.
All right.
Okay. Just real quickly, the new year brought in the new anti-chaining law. So if anybody needs information, I
What does that mean?
The anti-chaining law on dogs. We cannot chain our dogs stationary anymore.
Really?
There's a time limit on it, and I would encourage everybody to just call the shelter or call their local animal control division to get the information on it. There's some exceptions that go with it, but it's the full-time chaining of a dog is no longer allowed, and it is now illegal to do that.
How about people who chain their dogs in the back of a pickup? Is that not required?
That is required to my knowledge. I haven't had an issue with that recently. So as far as I know now, I know they don't enforce it that much. That's another thing. Enforcement can be an issue, but I know they are enforcing the anti-chaining law as far as in the yards to stationary objects.
Okay,
That is something that is undergoing now, and I think they may give a warning at first, but we're still seeing a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's inhumane.
It is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. On a lighter subject, Spay Day.
Spay Day.
February 27th of this month is Spay Day.
Okay.
And, millions of Americans in our nation, we claim to love cats and dogs.
Right.
We do. We spend billions of dollars on pets, food, and products and toys, et cetera. But the statistics that are associated with overpopulation, pet overpopulation, improper breeding, not getting your pets spayed, neutered, the statistics are outstanding. I had to cheat a little bit and write some things down. We have 6 to 8 million cats and dogs that enter shelters per year. 6 to 8 million. 3 to 4 million cats and dogs are euthanized in shelters, and 3 to 4 million are adopted. So there's a little bit of a change there. It's come up. Cat litters, we see cats are so important to get spayed too in our community, and as well as dogs. I know we're doing a lot with the ferals, but I have a little demonstration I was going to show you.
Very good.
If I took one female cat, somebody stole my male cat. Must have been the dog. Okay, well, the male cat wasn't too important because we did need one female cat was to breed with one male cat. Within a year, her first litter, she's going to have about 3 to 4 kittens. Okay?
All right.
From those 3 to 4 kittens, and I'm doing about a 50% average here because they don't always all make it.
Right.
With the next one, between the mama kitty and her maybe 2 females, she's going to have a few more. And by the end of that first year, we have about 54 cats from one female cat within 1 year.
Whoa.
And so this is how many cats you can actually get from one female cat. Now, that doesn't count the male cat that's out breeding, too.
Right.
I didn't include that in the statistics. So about 54 from one female within 1 year, and that's with a 50%. So it's so important to spay and neuter, and it's it's getting more cost effective. At the shelter, we have spay and neuter coupons available for the cats.
Okay.
They offer a discount. I know at SNP they have their coupons for their dogs, or they assist within that. And for Spay Day this year, we are going to go ahead and have a drawing for a free cat spay and a free
Okay.
cat neuter. All you have to do is come down to the thrift store at Paws and Shop at 1208 North Mount Shasta Boulevard and put in for the drawing. And on the 27th, we will give away a free cat spay and a free cat neuter to promote Spay Day.
You bet. That's February the 27th.
Yes, February 27th.
Very good. And then come and adopt this kitty cat.
Adopt Sooty.
Sooty, yes.
And just another little statistic for you on unneutered male dogs. You know, there's a lot that's associated with pet overpopulation, and unneutered male dogs account for 80% of our dog bites. The dog
Really?
bites are increasing in severity as well. 80% of unneutered males are responsible for that, for those dog bites. And it's another little thing here. 80% of unneutered male dogs are hit by cars. Hit by cars are 80% of those are unneutered male dogs. They're out looking to have a good time and
Right.
they hit by cars. 96% of the casualties or the fatalities in dog bites are 96% are unneutered male dogs.
No kidding.
So it's
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of things with the you know, a lot of people don't like to neuter their male dogs or they want to breed, et cetera. But do know that is the big part of those dog bites out there, and we are still doing the dog bite prevention for these schools. So if anybody's interested,
Very good.
just let us know.
Let us know. And what is your telephone number again?
926-4052.
Okay, 4052.
Yes.
All right, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, you will.
With a
Thanks,
doggy
Judith.
or a kitty?
Sure, one of the two. I've got lots of them.
You bet.
Thank you, Judith.
All right, Kim, that's very good. One of the things I like to do is always to welcome the Humane Society because they are doing such a good job. All right, now we're going to bring in the SNPs. And we have a great announcement about SNPs that we want to bring in. Okay, hi, Sandy.
Hi.
You're getting to be a regular here on the program.
Yes, I am. And before we get started, I would like to give this to you just because you've been so wonderful in promoting SNP and so people can know about all the animals that need to be spayed and neutered.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate your help.
I went in and I was admiring the plate, and actually it was one of those things where you got to
Yes, make a deal.
make a
today,
deal.
The first Friday of every month.
And then I walked out and I didn't have the plate, and here she came with the plate. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right, I accept. That's not bribery. It is not, what do you call it, whatever you call it.
Thank you.
You are welcome, Sandy. So, Sandy, there's been a great honor for you also. What would you announce what's happened?
SNP has been nominated as the nonprofit group store of the year, and so the Chambers is having a dinner on Friday, and they're gonna pick out who wins, and it goes the Citizen of the Year, all that stuff. So
Right.
it's wonderful.
Business of the Year, Nonprofit of the Year, and last year our very own John Cumming was nominated, and we all got to go and cheer him as we had a great time at the dinner.
It's a great dinner. Yeah,
Right,
it's
right.
Wonderful.
So you've only been in existence 6 months, is that correct?
Yes, it's been 6 months.
6 months and you're already nominated.
6 months, yeah, and people have been so generous to us. And within that 6 months, let me say, 78 pit bulls have been spayed and neutered.
Right.
And then we also issued 471 coupons, and we've spent $29,000 towards coupons for animals
Really?
dogs to get spayed and neutered. Yeah, so we're just really excited about that. And the more we can get it out there, the better it'll be. So people, can come and get get help to get that done.
Right.
So we're also going to be doing a special for a dog to get spayed and neutered. We're going to have a contest as well.
Oh, good.
So it'll be at the store. So just stop by and put in your name and phone number. And so we're going to have a drawing on the 27th.
It's a big day for both of you.
Yes, it'll be great because then more people can get helped.
That's right. So what is the mission then? So do you have a mission statement for SNPs?
Well, basically to help spay and neuter the dogs of low-income families.
Right.
So we can stop this overpopulation, and eventually we'll go into doing the cats and then the feral cats and all that. And also we have, right now we also have Barbara Lovelace. She brings in the cats.
Yes.
And so far, in 1 month time, we found homes for 17 cats.
Really?
Just because they were there at the store and people could see them, and
Really?
and they're wonderful, and people just love the animals. So they come in, and so she'll keep bringing them in.
Well, she should be coming back on the program again and again, too. The program is called STARS, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Very good.
It's for
So
the
we've
feral
got
cats.
3 different programs where involved with animals. I'm just real thrilled to be able to present this on my program.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what else? Ooh, we got some more things here. Snip and
Yeah,
save.
so every day of the week, we're open Tuesday through Saturday,
Right.
and on each day we have a special sale. On Tuesdays, it's our book half-off
Mm-hmm.
sale. On Wednesdays, it's Senior Day, which we give 25% off of anything in the
Anything
store.
there.
And then on Thursday, it's for children half-off,
Mm-hmm.
and then Friday is for bedding, and then Saturday is our special day of bag sale, which anything that has a color tag,
Yeah.
you can fill up a whole bag of clothes for $3. And then once a month, we have our bargain day, which is the first Friday of each month.
That's the day that I came in.
Yeah, you come in that day and you'll get a special deal.
That's right. Got a special deal, and here I have it.
Yes.
Very good. Anything else for the audience?
Let me see. I think that was about it.
Okay.
That was about it. And we need volunteers, so please come by. You can volunteer for 1 hour or be a regular volunteer. We can always use volunteers just to get the word out, to put flyers out, to hang up clothes,
Okay.
any of that stuff.
So is there any particular skills they need to have?
No, just come on in and we'll set you up.
Put you to work,
Put
huh?
you to work.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right. Snip and save then, and that's at 315 Chestnut Street here in downtown Mount Shasta, and that's 926-0400. And if you want to show up and just volunteer, that would be great. Especially, I think the 27th of February would be a fabulous day for all of you to stop in. All right, now let's go to Save the Rain with Kelly Coleman. Kelly, you want to come on in? Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Judith. How are you?
Just great. So I'm excited to have you back again. You were here a couple times before.
Yep.
And you have had, I think, the most transitional time that anyone in my existence, I don't think I know anyone who's changed as much as you have. And share just a little bit before we start our slides. What impacted you?
Well, Save the Rain the team of Save the Rain just returned from Africa after a 48-day trip. And most definitely it was life-altering for the recipients of the project as well as the people who helped to administer the opportunity.
So that was your second trip over, correct?
Yes.
Oh, and how was the first trip different from the second trip?
Well, what Save the Rain does is we go into water-starved communities to teach people how to catch, store, harvest, farm water through rain catchment.
Okay.
And the first trip, we actually worked with a community of farmers, and through cultivating those relationships, we were able to go back and build a community-wide rainwater harvesting system for a village of 3,500 people.
3,500. That's just about the size of Mount Shasta.
Exactly.
Wow. And so I had mentioned at the first part of the program that, it takes a village, and Mount Shasta area, and I can't just say the city of Mount Shasta, the whole area came out in droves to help support financially. And explain a little bit about what they did.
Well, we were able to build a 70,000-gallon rainwater harvesting system on this last trip, and that was first and foremost sponsored by the city of Mount Shasta and everybody who came out for our garage sale, our rain dance benefit, made donations, were moved by the television show or articles that were written in the newspaper, and most definitely Mount Shasta can pat themselves on the back for participating in shifting the life of an entire African village.
When you say shifting the life of an African village, could you go into a little bit more depth in that?
Sure. Well, on this slideshow that we're going to do, we're going to talk about some of the statistics of how the water crisis is affecting the world, but most particularly how it's affecting Africa. So in this particular community, there is a very, very, very minimal piped-in water source. It really only turns on for half of an hour once every 2 weeks.
Would you repeat that again?
Half an hour once every 2 weeks.
Wow.
And that's for the entire village of 3,500 people. So they were originally harvesting water from streams with buckets. Women and children are responsible for water collection, and so they would walk sometimes up to 22 miles a day to collect dirty, infected water from whatever source was most closely available to them.
Right.
So how it is that we have participated in creating the opportunity of change is we built this rainwater harvesting system on the community school, which actually educates about 800 children. And so it sits in the center of the village.
Okay.
So now the community will actually be able to come and collect water from the rainwater harvesting system. And
Look at that.
yeah.
You changed the whole climate of a village like that.
Well, we also had the ability to teach some surface water collection practices, which
Okay.
is about teaching communities different irrigation practices, how to slow the rainfall down, stop soil erosion, replenish the soil moisture so that they can actually grow more food. This is primarily a farming community, which really, I would say probably 80% of the African population are farming communities. So,
Really?
oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay. Now, one of the things, and the next time you come in, I definitely want, and actually there is a map on the logo with the heart of Save the Rain. As you're putting that first slide up with that, could you point out in Africa approximately where
we
you
are.
where you went?
Well, I don't know that my finger will show up
Yeah,
on this.
probably not. But is it on the right side, left side?
It's actually on the east coast of Africa.
On the east coast of Africa.
We are actually working in Eastern Africa. Where we are working currently, or where we were working currently, was in a community that sits very close to the base of Mount Kilimanjaro as well as Mount Meru.
Okay.
So sort of northern Tanzania.
Oh, northern Tanzania. Okay, I have the area now. Northern Tanzania and at
Eastern Africa.
Eastern Africa, because Africa is so huge.
Enormous.
Enormous, enormous. Okay, now looking at the logo, the heart. Look at the heart. Wow. I mean, tell me a little bit about Save a Raindrop, Save a Life.
Well, it came. Save the Rain was originally founded as a family organization. The statistics of the water crisis came to the attention of my family, and we just felt that it was absolutely inappropriate. And so we needed to find a way to help to shift those statistics.
Okay.
And what we did was we realized that wherever people live, it rains a little. Sometimes, sometimes it rains a little, sometimes it rains a lot, but it certainly rains all over the planet.
Right.
And as long as people could be taught to harvest the rain, then we could actually put an end to the water crisis.
Right. Now, did you do anything prior to going over to Africa to develop any kind of system? Did you build any?
Well, my partner and husband is actually a rain catchment system designer, so that's
Really?
what he does in the Western world.
Does he?
And this gives him an opportunity to share his knowledge with the developing world.
Very good. Well, let's move on into some of the slides then.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one. I'm so excited.
So pretty much what this is just saying is that today, every 15 seconds, the water crisis forces a mother to bury her child.
Oh, it's too sad.
Yeah, well, it's just inappropriate, and I think that we can all pretty much accept the fact that a mother burying her child is probably the hardest thing for any human being to
Yes.
do. The next just says that half of all deaths of children in the developing world and 80% of all illnesses are the direct result of lack of water. And all of that is preventable. This says that 14,000 people die every day from water-related illnesses or lack of clean water. And I think our community, more than any community, needs to recognize that that's the entire population of Mount Shasta 4 times over,
Right.
every day without exception.
And we have such pure water.
Right.
And it's clean. And when you talked about, I've seen a couple of the presentations when the water is full of feces and typhoid infected. I mean, we just do not realize how lucky we are. And what was the term that you used? Because I'm deeply involved in this, and I'm going to get more deeply involved in it. There's a term that you use with where we have so much affluenza, was it?
Affluenza.
Affluenza, that we suffer from affluenza. We have so much, and we don't maybe appreciate our water.
Well, I think the most important thing is that, you know, if you are a part of the Western community, you are probably caught in trying to reconcile your finances.
Right.
And I think that we all probably need to stop and take a moment and recognize that based on the fact that we can turn a tap on and clean water comes out,
Right.
that makes us some of the wealthiest people in the world.
Right. And I was talking about earlier, gratitude.
Right.
Gratitude, gratitude. Okay.
So
Oh, precious.
these are the people that we work for. We work for the children of Africa. Currently, Save the Rain is focusing its attention on Africa because today we can assume that it is one of the hardest hit areas of the water crisis.
Okay.
This is a photograph of a girl collecting water from underneath a tree. This is about 3.5 miles from the village that she lives in. The bucket, which you can't see very clearly, is actually a 5-gallon bucket, and it weighs about 40 pounds when it's full. And she probably weighs about 41 pounds or 42 pounds.
Wow.
So the distances that children and women need to travel to collect water is unacceptable. And the truth is that this water source is infected with a variety of illnesses. So they are, putting out effort to travel for water, and the water that they're collecting isn't even clean. We talked about those statistics. This is the photograph of a child that I took in a village, and actually this child is fairly sick, and the ability to survive the conditions that are presented to these children is slim. And,
Yes.
And I think that based on the fact that the children of our community have every single opportunity available to them, that should be a worldwide opportunity for every child. So this actually is a photograph of the system that we built last February, so a year ago. And part of the remarkable thing about returning to Africa
Yes.
was the ability to go back and get an update on how it is that the system is functioning. The amazing part is that it was a complete, and to see that system in its full function was a complete and utter confirmation of the work. This community of farmers actually is now able to harvest more than 75% more of their farmland. They're actually now selling fruits and vegetables to hotels in the closest cities. They are, the best part about what happened is because they had the rainwater system, the rain catchment system available to them, this year the stream that they used to collect water from actually became infected, deeply infected, and there was a landslide, and so the path that went to the stream was actually washed away. So the rainwater system not only became a lifeline for the system, for this community, but it also gave them the opportunity to flourish.
Saved their lives.
It saved their lives, but more than that, they did incredible things with it. They increased their economic flow. There actually today is not one case of intestinal disease or diarrhea problems within the community that's received the system. And prior to us building it, there were cases with children every single solitary day.
Talk about changing the world.
Yeah.
One child at a time.
One child at a time.
One raindrop at a time.
Exactly.
Right.
So this next slide is just to move into what we actually built. This was the landscape which we had to work with when we got there.
Rocks, looks like rocks, huh?
Yeah. We had about 16 to 18 people work every day to excavate the site. We did not have a backhoe or any kind of electrical or mechanical equipment available to us. So 16 people moved close to 1,000 tons of dirt in 6 days. The site was excavated in 6 days. These two holes are actually 25 feet wide, and they are 8 feet deep. The hardest part was how rocky the soil was. So this, you can see that pretty much what happened was we would come across rocks that were about 4 feet wide, and the only way to move them was to take sledgehammers and just beat the rock until it broke and then move small pieces.
And were you involved in any of that part of it?
Yeah, I was actually one of the wheelbarrow pushers.
Really?
Because, you know...
Dylan was right down in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
This is actually the beginning of the construction of the foundation for the rain catchment system, one of the holding tanks. Here you can see the beginning of the creation of the formwork. So these tanks were actually 24 feet wide, and they were 15 feet tall, and there were 2 of them. Here you can see the tanks are actually, the formwork is completed, and the tanks are beginning to be plastered. The interesting part about it was that actually one entire coat needed to be done in 1 day, so that no cold joints were created and there could be no cracking. So to plaster a 32,000 gallon tank in 1 day was an enormous feat, especially considering that there was no cement mixers. So we actually used about close to 30,000 pounds of cement.
Really?
And it was all mixed by hand, and then taken in small buckets up these ladders and into the tank to begin the plastering process.
From the inside?
Yeah, you start from the inside out.
Okay.
Here is a photograph of one completed system, of one completed tank, and there actually is a 4-inch connection pipe that bleeds one tank into the next. This is a photograph. We also built something called a slow sand filtration system. And what that is a filter that requires no electricity and no moving parts, no Western additives, and it removes 99.9% of all bacteria, disease, and harmful pathogens in the water. And this sand filter will actually provide this community with 1,600 liters of clean drinking water every day. The parents and the students actually came out and donated their labor, and so this is a day when the parents came out to dig the foundation for the clean water holding tank. Aside from the rainwater tanks, which were these, at the other end, these actually gravity feed into the sand filter, and then the sand filter gravity feeds into 24,000 liters of clean water storage, so 7,000 gallons.
Wow.
So this is actually the close to completion. And I really have to say that what was accomplished in 40 days was pretty much the closest miracle, the most miraculous thing I have ever participated in my life.
Miracles happening every single day.
Every single day, by hand, with no electricity, no backhoe, no nothing, just some people with great intention.
Right. That's what we were talking about earlier, of setting your intention and to visualize it happening and not to let any obstacles get in the way. Forget that. I mean, you had obstacles. I mean, how many, in a normal day, let's say, what were some of the things that would come up that would be that could have deterred a person less determined?
Well, I think the first thing that you have to recognize is that this is an amazingly innovative culture. And so obstacles to them are simply opportunities in disguise.
Right.
So for someone who comes from the more frustrated culture, you have to learn that everything functions in a tentative way. You have to disconnect to that rapid time frame. Some of the things that we came up against were trying to find these small little pavers, small little blocks that are used for construction. They're readily available all across the United States.
Right.
They're so that the metal of the rebar doesn't touch the soil. We couldn't find them anywhere. We looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and finally ended up settling on patio pavers, a little patio paver, and used that instead. So to get inside the tank was just these are 15 feet tall. So these ladders that you can see, constructing those and figuring out how to have them not touch the tank and still be, I'll be honest with you, I was terrified climbing those things. They walked upon them like, it was the easiest thing in the world. So I think maybe one of the biggest obstacles to come upon was just, health issues. Trying to be within the community and stay healthy was probably, and we were both extremely successful at that.
Good, very good.
Yeah.
And I was able to receive a couple of the emails, and just heart opening. I just, every time I would read them, and the experience that you had, just going from point A to point B in the rain, and you were sitting in the back of a pickup and just singing away, and I was so excited just to read that. I thought, you can either see that I'm getting soaking wet or I'm having a ball,
Well, I think that the most important thing for me as a participant in this project is to keep my focus on the end result, which is that these children are a privilege to work for.
Yes.
They're a privilege. It's a privilege to fight for their rights, and it's a privilege to work for them on their behalf.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, and any more slides?
That's actually it for the project.
Okay.
I just wanted to kind of move into what came next.
Okay, so we won't be watching any more slides.
No, actually, what came next was the school threw an inauguration for the completion of the system. And the government actually came, and they were so impressed by the project that they asked that we continue to support different schools. So the most remarkable thing that happened was we were able to cultivate a team on the ground that actually has the ability to do some smaller scale projects on their own. So we have been able to create a sustainable flow to the continuation of projects.
Good.
So this April and May, our 2 representatives from our team will actually be going to a village about an hour away from Nambala. The village is called Karangai. The situation there is just another sample of how difficult life is. They do actually have a river that's in close proximity. It's about a mile away from the community, but it is heavily infested with typhoid. The school children actually walk 3 times a day. The school has 500 children in it. The school children walk 3 times a day to go collect water. And every year, 10% of the school children contract typhoid. So the difficult part about typhoid is that it's an expensive medication, and I would say just about nobody in the community can afford to be treated for it.
And when you went last year, you encountered someone who had, was it typhoid, and for $10?
Malaria.
Malaria, that's
Right.
what it was.
And actually on this trip as well, we participated in taking 4 children to the hospital because the family, all of the 4 children had malaria. The family just didn't have the money to be able to take care of them.
And were you not there the children would not have lived.
Most probably.
Right.
Most probably. So the beautiful thing about the team that we have on the ground is they're actually going to go in and do this entire project in Karangai on their own. They're going to build about a 15,000 gallon rainwater harvesting system and slow sand filter. So it's substantially smaller than this, but the great part is because the river is so close, the children can still go collect water, fill the rainwater harvesting tanks, and have that filter through the sand filter,
Right.
which will provide them clean water. In this community, in Karangai particular, they do have a standpipe that comes into the community. It turns on for a half an hour 3 times a month.
Wow. So the word I want to use is sustainability. Sustainability, in other words, you're creating a system so that it can replicate itself and they can continue on the work that you've done. Now, is there money involved? Are you? I have to say we because I'm involved in the committee with this. There's a funding that we're going to be creating with that. Is that correct?
Absolutely. There's actually 2 projects immediately that our Tanzania team is going to take care of on their own. The first is in this Karangai village, and the second is in a village on the mountain of Kilimanjaro. Some of the problems that community faces is because they are not harvesting any of the rain or the runoff.
Right.
The entire community is having to walk to the base of the mountain to go collect water,
Right.
and then walk all the way up. So it is a real waste of expenditure of energy.
It is.
But yes, those 2 projects we will be doing fundraising for. Some of the larger things that came about from this is that we contacted the Arusha, which is the closest city, the Rotary Club in Arusha, and they actually came out to view the project, and they have agreed to sponsor 5 projects of this size beginning in July for the next year.
Look at that.
Yeah, so that's close to a $150,000 commitment on their behalf.
Wow.
So that's exceedingly exciting. I mean, it will only cover about 60% of the budget for the projects, but it's better than nothing.
You know, little did you know when you started this, when your family started this, that this is where you would end up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we actually then left Tanzania and we went to go spend a week in Uganda. We are actually creating a partnership with Rotary International's Adopt a Village program.
Okay.
So we were in Uganda going to look at some of the communities that they have available or have come up for them to sponsor for water projects. So we did that, and then we actually created a partnership with the United Nations, with the United Nations Millennium Promise, and we have solidified a project with them in the month of August.
Look at that.
Yeah.
July, August.
Yeah. It's all working smoothly.
It is.
And the goal for that project is actually remarkable. We'll be doing 3 rainwater harvesting systems, and the promise for these projects are going to bring 50,000 people water.
50,000 people.
Yeah.
Well, it makes us think about water. When we turn that tap water on, you're going to think about water in a different way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You got that right.
Absolutely.
So that's the our United Nations, the
Absolutely.
one, the peace part of, and the Millennium Promise is that.
The Millennium Promise is actually a nonprofit organization that helps to fund these sustainable village projects.
Sustainable Village Projects,
Yeah.
okay. And then Rotary International, that's what we're talking here. Now, the best part is how all of you out there can participate, and just like you did before, or even more perhaps.
Right.
Right, and if you'd like to get involved, just let us know. So let's hear about the projects.
Okay, so actually what we are going to do is we are going to have an event on April 13th here at COS. We are asking Mount Shasta because you did, Mount Shasta and surrounding communities, because you did so fantastically in supporting Nambala. We're asking for continued support for you. We are going to have another rain dance benefit.
Yes.
Which, remarkably enough, 400 of you showed up for in August.
Yes.
And we all danced until the wee hours. So on April 13th, we are going to have another benefit. It will include a slide presentation, a more in-depth slide presentation, as well as another African band will come and play. There will be food and raffle prizes and an auction, and it promises to be an incredibly fun and meaningful evening.
Put that on your calendar. That is April the 13th. That will be here at College of the Siskiyous. It will be at the theater. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And yeah, we're going to be dancing like we did before. We promise not to blow the electricity like we did last time.
Or at least we'll try.
We'll try. And then we're going to be doing a garage sale, are we?
Absolutely. We were, this community was phenomenal in supporting us in our garage sale last year. Hundreds and hundreds of people donated items, and we had a garage sale that looked more like a mall, a mini mall, than a garage sale.
Antiques, I mean expensive antiques.
Absolutely. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. And for as large as these next projects are, we always have to remember that small contributions by many create large donations.
That's right.
So last year we asked for, $15 was the entrance fee for the rain dance benefit, and that actually helped to bring clean water to a person. So, anything helps. All of it helps. Well,
let's end with the logo again with your vital information. Save the rain, save a raindrop, save a life. And if you would like to send something immediately, just to validate that you're listening to MCTV 15, and the number is 926-9999. And if you want to email and say, well, how do I get this to you, or go to the website, you've got some of the pictures up there on the website. You can go. So I had to get involved. I just said, oh, I'm doing this, and I just actually said, I think I'd like to go. And I think that will get me more involved, because when you experience what I saw when you came back, it was just, you're not the same.
No, I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can see people trying to survive those conditions and remain the same.
Right.
I think that there definitely were moments where I had to reconcile myself as a part of the human family. Mm-hmm. Our community has done so much in assisting this one village, but as a whole, the people of this continent have been left to survive conditions that are just inhumane.
That's right.
So I believe that we have the ability and the creativity and the innovation and the power to change that, to help in changing that.
Well, I just want to applaud you, Kelly Coleman, for all that you have done, and you're an inspiration to me. You're an inspiration to many people in the community. So.
Well, I just want the community to know that I can't do my job without your support. So it's not about me, it's about how everybody came out to help.
And by the same token, I've watched each and every person involved in this, how they've stretched and how they've changed so much in their life. So if you would like to get involved, don't be shy, don't be timid.
Absolutely. We welcome phone calls, questions, emails. The email address is info@savetherain.org. Please go to the website, check out the information, see what it is that we're doing. The website address is www.savetherain.org. We welcome suggestions and participation, mm-hmm. And I'm happy to. Everyone on the staff is happy to answer any questions or assist in whatever way we can in regards to getting the information out there.
You bet. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Judith.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a great presentation, and I loved donating the time on this program to worthwhile causes such as that. And we do have some time left over, and I'm going to ask a friend of mine who's actually doing the timing out here to come. I've just met Wendy, and so I'd just love to bring her up to the in front of the camera. And yeah, so come on in, Wendy. So you're a new transplant here to our area.
I am. It's a beautiful area. I came in because this area is just filled with magic, and it's a wonderful place to live.
You bet. And you came from?
Came from New York and Richmond, Virginia.
New York via Richmond, Virginia, and now you're living here in this wonderful area. And I met you through referrals. I mean, people kept saying you got to meet Wendy, you got to meet Todd, you got to meet Wendy, you got to meet Todd. So you came here to help film today, and I just said, well, I'm bringing you on camera.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Very good. Now, one of the things that you do, she is actually, and last time I did the program, Sandy, who is part of my Media Mastermind Marketing group, came on, and they talked about, coming into the group, and so you jumped right in. I want to thank you very much for that.
Yes, I have a great belief in your group, coaching everyone and helping us to get to the next level of our business practice. And I'm a feng shui master, and we also do healing energy work as well. My partner Todd Davis and I, and that's why we came here.
Very good. And one of the first things that I always do is to have people practice or to just settle into what is your tagline for what you do. So I'm going to ask you what your tagline is.
It keeps changing.
I know it. And that's exactly what I want to have happen, is that it evolves until finally you land on something that just describes what you're about.
So our company is called Living Energy, Inc., and the tagline for today, I guess this moment, would be helping to heal people and homes one person at a time.
Very good. And tomorrow it may be something different, and that's okay. I've been doing this a long time, and so mine is I'm a coach for all reasons.
That's right.
Period.
You are.
Sometimes I say, and for all seasons, but mostly it is about for all reasons, because there's no reason no situation that I can't somehow jump in and help people with. Now, the word feng shui, I mean, I don't think I've mentioned this before on the program. We got about 3 minutes left, so I would like to just, tell me what feng shui is.
All right. Feng shui is an ancient Chinese art of placement, and it's using different types of objects like pottery or wood items or metal items and placing them in specific areas around your home so you can have much better fortune and great relationships and love and health. And it does work. It really does work. I belong to the Compass School Feng Shui, and how we use that is a person's birthday, and we get your best colors to wear or to place around your home, or the color of your house needs to be these specific types of colors. You wear them, and it changes the energy. It shifts things. I worked with a woman, I had done her townhouse back in Washington, D.C., and she asked me to come and do another house in Baltimore, and she fell ill. And what happened is I had to go back a second time. She had a mud room that was not illuminated, that we had asked her to illuminate and put a light in there, and that was in her health area. So it was a very dark, muddy area, and as soon as she did that, she actually started feeling a lot better.
Really?
So when you let's say you have clutter in an area, in your wealth area, well, your wealth is not going to be able to move because you've got everything blocked. That's what that does. It blocks the energy.
And so how is this different from the, because the other, I'm quite acquainted with the other, where you come in and you have your bagua, and the wealth is in the far left-hand corner. This is different. This is with the compass. Explain that a little bit.
Well, Compass School Feng Shui is one of the older schools of Feng Shui. The first school was Form School. That was probably about 8,000 years ago, and that worked with the lay of the land and how you bury your ancestors and where you lived partially up the mountain, and made sure there was a stream. And Compass School works with your birthday, the 8 points plus center on your compass. It works with the those directions and the shapes and objects. So it's the actual compass points.
So when you come in the front door and you're coming in from the northwest or if you're coming in with the north and the south, that makes a big difference.
It does, because each direction is also corresponding to shapes and objects that you would place in these areas. So I think it works really well.
Good. And I had never heard of this type of with the directions with the compass before. I've always heard of the other type.
Well, the compass school takes a lot more time and study.
It does.
Usually the black hat sect feng shui is just you go in and they lay it out. But I find that since it's kind of haphazardly placed with those directions, it's not an exact measurement of what you need to do and where you need to place these objects.
Right. Well, I'm interested to see how the people you're talking with from now on, how it's going to start changing their lives. Now, if someone decides, well, I can't do this particular thing in an area, like you explained, in the area of health, you had said illuminated, and they didn't do it, and it showed up with poor health.
That's correct.
Right. Well, what can you suggest to the people out there? I mean, if they, just as they're watching this program, some thought that they could perhaps develop on their own?
Well, you could, some hints for you in the romance area would be, if you've got a really old lumpy bed, then that usually means you're going to kind of have a kind of old lumpy relationship. So it's good to replace your bedding, or let's say you've gotten out of a relationship and you want to call a new relationship in. Well, get all new bedding, get all new sheets. If you can't afford a new mattress, get all new sheets and make it really beautiful in that area. A good color generally for the bedroom is going to be peach color. If you want to have more romance in your life, it's good to take pictures of two wolves, say, because wolves mate for life, and put that on the southwest wall of your home as a little hint for better relationships. In your bedroom, you can also do that in the living room if you wish. If you need more, let me see, better fortune in your career, put a water fountain in the north part of your living room. And don't put any water items or paintings or pictures in the bedrooms at all, because that's not such a great thing to do.
Perfect. Well, I'm hoping that people out there are going to take these hints, and perhaps they would like to call you.
Yes, you can reach us here in Lake Shastina, 938-3262. Again, 938-3262.
Perfect training, saying the telephone number twice. And I didn't even train you on that one. You just know that. Okay, well, I want to thank everyone out there for listening, and I want to remind each and every one of you out there that who you are, what you do, and how you do it makes a difference.